Welcome to this powerful Sagittarius full moon, and we have got a lot to talk about. This is a big, bountiful, very positive energy that we're coming into, but it's not without its challenges. So in this live stream, we're going to talk about 5 important things to know about this full moon, because the prepared will thrive over these next several weeks. So as the full moon hits very early this morning, about 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. Eastern time, the energies are gonna carry into the next couple of weeks. So if you're watching this as a video, I'll actually timestamp when we begin. I like to give the live people a moment or two to get their notifications. I don't see a lot of people on now, but people find us. And Calvin, Fractal Awareness, welcome. Does he still love me? And good evening, Brooke. So there's 11 on the stream, only 2 comments. So I'll hang out for a minute and let's just say a few general things, and we're going to dive into the 5 things that we need to know. So this is a big catalyst for change. Sagittarius, it's directness, it's expansion, it's growth, it's honesty. It's Jupiterian, so it's got that positive, expansive vibe with it. And this is going to catalyze great changes in our world. So these 5 things are important. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Beatrice. A few people are finding us. Very good. Very good. So I hope everybody is doing well. Oh, okay. So yeah, I get comments like that also, Kevin. Very good. Yep. If you're providing information and doing readings, people are going to ask for information. That's the way it goes, right? All right. Hello, Melissa. Slowly but surely, people are finding us. We've been on for a couple of minutes. I think we are going to get started, and people will just have to catch up on the replay. That's the great thing about YouTube live stream, is that as soon as we're done, it all goes to replay. Hello, Michael. So very good that you're in as well. So people are finding us. I've got my ephemeris nearby in case I forgot something or in case I missed something. Everything's pretty much in my notes. So anyway, the full moon, 3:44 a.m. What did I say? 3:30. I lied. 3:44 a.m. on the 11th here on the East Coast. That means if you go west of California and Oregon into the Hawaiian Islands, Guam, east of the international date line, it's actually on the 10th. But for most of the world, it's on the 11th. And hello, Jojo. And hoping you're doing well. Do you burn incense sticks? Oh, good for you. Good for you, Jojo. Yeah, and you guys, because we're a community, you're allowed to do things like post your YouTube channels or what you have to offer. I'm fine with that. So just to let you know, we're all community. We're all here growing, helping our communities, helping Great Spirit in this process, because we are in a great awakening, but there's a lot of resistance to it, and it's challenging. We need to support each other, right? And all that good stuff. This is actually a very good full moon for money too, and I'll explain that in a minute. So anyway, let us dive into this. So what did we just say? Very good full moon for money, for abundance, and all that stuff. So full moon is at 3:44 a.m. Eastern time. That would make it what? 8:44 Greenwich Mean Time on the 11th at 20 degrees Sagittarius. Now, we do a little bit of numerology and astrology, and then I'll dive into the 5 things we need to know, then the recommended practices. Then I've got divination cards for direct channeling and messages for us, basically. And 20 degrees Sagittarius. So anyways, 20 degrees, that's a power point in any sign. And also 20 is the number of the awakening in Chaldean numerology, and it's the judgment card in the major arcana of the tarot. So 20, and it's also lunar based because it reduces it too. So this makes this full moon very powerful. Sagittarius is big, Jupiterian, expansive. So this is a very powerful, dominant full moon energy that we have. Mercury and Venus will be sextiling. Mercury in the sign of Cancer, Venus in the sign of Taurus. That's beautiful, wonderful energy that helps bring that out, because Cancer is the moon's rulership, basically. And Saturn and Neptune are in conjunction in Aries. So these two power players have moved into Aries recently from the last sign of completions into the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, which is the new beginning, which is fire. And Sagittarius is a fire sign. There's a lot of fire going on with this full moon, basically. So this full moon can enhance success or bring in success. It's also on a numerological 26 day. So that's a universal 26-day numerology that reduces to 8. 8 is often taken to the number of success, the number of money, positivity. Now, the 26 version is a little bit tricky because you have to be a little bit careful about treachery and double crossing, at least according to Chaldean numerology. But I'll get into what that means as I get into the forecast a little bit more, basically. And hello, Lady Susanna, welcome. The people are slowly coming in. So the full moon can enhance success. So 20 is judgment awakening, enhances positive side of Jupiter, basically. And in numerology, 28, the number 26 reduces to 8, can also expose treachery, bring down the corruption in the world, especially with the Sagittarius energy that's very truthful, very straightforward. You know, it's the bow and arrow, straightest line between 2 points. The full moon also is way south of the ecliptic, the path that the sun takes in the sky. In fact, this is going to be the lowest moon in the northern hemisphere, closer to the southern horizon. Lowest full moon, I think, in the last 30 some odd years. So the south is also the place of fire. So again, a lot of fire. I don't know if the moon is technically out of bounds, but it's definitely at the very bottom rung of its path. You know, the south node's in Virgo. So that basically means that from the south, when we hit the sign Virgo, which is later on in this lunar cycle, then the moon and the sun will be going in the same path in the sky. But anyway, that's a little bit technical, I know. So from the way south, this is the ecliptic. So anyway, we set the table a little bit, right? By the way, tomorrow at 11:11 a.m., if this video uploads, it's been taking all day. I've got a really important stuff about what's going to be happening in July. That'll be later in this full moon. Actually, that'll be the next lunar segment. That is going to be huge. So I just thought of that. So I just mentioned that. So anyway, 5 things that we need to know about this full moon energy. The first thing to know is hold your fire. So that's the first thing to know about that. So we're going to start with the bad news first, and then the rest of it's all good news. Basically, moon is in the sign Sagittarius, in the fire sign Sag, right? And coupled with other aspects, it can enhance a lot of frustration and aggravation in the world around us. So there's a lot of that kind of energy where people are going to be, you know, look what's going on in the world, right? So people are likely to be short-tempered, very dismissive, condescending, and maybe brutal at times. And then things within ourselves may rise up that are not too pretty also. You know, we all get frustrated and angry. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that we have to work on staying in our center, whether it's us or other people, and not allowing those emotions, which is a frequency and an energy, to bring our vibration down and to ruin our day, basically. So I'll start out with that. So try to not engage with others who are negative. Work on raising your vibrations also. Hello, Suzette. Welcome. I just saw you on Laura's live stream. By the way, Laura Bennett, who's an amazing reader and spiritual channel. I'm gonna be interviewing her on Thursday at 7:00 on the Medium channel. That'll be great, and I believe she's gonna do a reading for us as a group. So don't miss that. Also, that's gonna be very good. So anyway, hold your fire, and could precipitate the worst battles. You know, in the between the full moon, which is just a few hours away. In the next 72 hours, we may see some pretty not so fun stuff in the world around us with the escalation of the wars and the battles and everything. Stay in your heart, stay in your power. You know, things have to happen for us to ascend. The lower has to fall, but this energy is going to bring a lot of that out. So that's the first thing to know is a lot's going on, a lot of energy, a lot of frustration and anger surfaces. So hold your fire. If you see things that are distasteful on social media or whatever, I do the same thing. Sometimes we want to lash out. In this energy, you're going to want to lash out even more. So take a deep breath, step into your heart, step out of the programming and visualize, or experience from the outside what you're feeling emotionally and what you'd like to do. And then you're not the program anymore. You're observing the program in action. To learn to be the observer, and that calms things down. That's the first thing to know. The second thing to know about this full moon, the 14th going to be big. 14th is a Saturday, right? So, hi. Ooh, there's the balloons. We miss our balloons. Yeah, I think there's a lot of aspects on the 14th. I know what's going on in the 14th. Yeah, talk about hold your fire. There's going to be a lot of demonstrations going on because our president's birthday is spending millions of taxpayers' dollars for a show of support for the military, plus it's his birthday. And we don't want to go into if that's a good thing or bad thing. It just is, but not everybody's in agreement, and they're planning all kinds of protests. So what we're seeing in LA and in New York and other cities, recently with you could call them riots or disturbances or whatever you want to call them, that's just going to escalate. And again, in the video I'm dropping tomorrow, I'm going to dive deeper into that. That'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the 11th. So pick that numerology on purpose. So anyway, number 2 thing to know is waves of ascension. Yes. So on the 14th, hold your fire, get very in your heart, very grounded. And if you're out there protesting or demonstrating, make sure that you stay safe, basically, in case things get a little bit ugly or out of hand wherever you are. But certainly let your voice be known. Put your voice out there. That's very Sagittarian also. Sagittarius is this straight shooter, no BS. It's tell it like it is kind of energy. So if you got something to say or something you need to do it. Be respectful and kind, but do it, right? So the second thing to know, getting back to that, is waves of ascension. So we talked about the 20th degree point in Chaldean numerology and in the major arcana of the tarot. 20 is awakening. It's spiritual awakening. It can be trial by fire. So even though 20 is lunar based in numerology, key 20 in the tarot is also fire as well. And it can be a refining test of fire, initiation energy, basically. And at 20 degree points of any sign is where the energy tends to be powerful. We have Neptune also stationed. There's other astrological things that I didn't touch on, but it's a big period of that. But it's a really big period for ascension. Oh gosh, thank you, Suzette. Because I love you and I love the fact that you're donating, and I love the color orange. I have to show this to the world. Thank you so much. We love you. So let's see what we wrote down in my notes. Energies will be strong, amplified, moving through us in waves. That's why I said waves of ascension. We're going to see that in solar activity beginning to pick up again. Probably more later in the cycle, closer to the solstice, but it may arrive ahead of schedule. Do your best to relax and allow the ascension frequencies to flow through you. Let the waves flow through you, because it's a very oscillating energies that are being initiated through this full moon and other aspects that are going on. Upgrades and people having upsurges and people having spiritual awakening. So we're going to see more and more in the world around us. More people are going to, under this energy, have spontaneous awakening. So that could be you if you haven't had that aha moment. There's different levels of awakening, but spiritual awakening generally involves being able to see from a vantage point higher than your personal mind, your personal perspective, where you kind of get this realization that you're really energy, you really are spirit, and you're navigating this world through the lens of spirit in this human form. And then you start to gain new gifts and new insights and things like that. So a lot of people, a lot of upsurges with that. Strong human frequencies or human resonance, I think technically it's strong, which is basically the wave pattern, the heartbeat of the earth. It's a low low hertz frequency that permeates the entire planet, that synchronizes with our own heartbeat and our own rhythm. So we're going to see more oscillations, I think, because it feels very wave-like, these energies. So you'll have high highs, and then you may go through the depths. So the emotions may be a little bit more up and down, but it's all part of this energy of ascension. And all four of the outer planets, this is important, are in not just in alignment, but in a harmonious alignment. Now, technically, if you're a purist with Western astrology, Uranus is not yet in that alignment because it's still at about 28 or 29 degrees Taurus. It hadn't moved into Gemini yet, but by the angles it is. So what are we saying? All four outer planets: Saturn conjuncts Neptune in Aries at about 2 degrees. Well, the conjunction, I think, the peak of the conjunction, I think, is in July, but one's at 2 degrees, the other's at 1 degree. That's pretty darn close. Right on the world axis, I might add. So big changes in the world. That's 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. And then the Neptune and Saturn conjunction. Neptune is higher mind, it's intuition, it's dreams, it's also illusions and delusion. And Saturn is kind of this hard checking energy of sobering reality, basically. But it can bring a lot of that insight into our physical reality. And through the illusion and delusion and the Saturnian, which is also karmic, and lessons and learning, that can bring out a lot of karmic stuff from the world. So in other words, it can release a lot of that in our lives to help the ways of ascension. And as well, it can also bring out some truths in the society. But let me get more into that in point number 3. So Saturn and Neptune at 1 and 2 degrees respectively in the sign of Aries. Now sextiling that not yet in Gemini, still in the late degrees of Taurus, will be Uranus, and sextiling on the other side will be Pluto in revolutionary and evolutionary Aquarius at 3 degrees. So we don't see 4 outer planets staying in a harmonious, positive alignment like that, like ever in our lifetime, maybe not in thousands of years. This is a generational change that we are experiencing right now in our world, everybody. And the Sagittarius full moon is just the energetic catalyst, because Sagittarius is truth, expansion, and has a spiritual nature of its own, to light this up and to bring this into the world and to bring it into our lives, basically. So what else did we write about that? Can also create waves in the earth, like tsunamis, like earthquakes. So that activity is likely to increase with this energy also, as well as, like I said before, with the Schumann resonance and things like that. So the third thing that we need to know, basically, is, yeah, thank you. Only 5 likes, Jojo. Thank you for that. Let's like this and let's get this out to people. We are on a roll here. And thank you, everybody, for your beautiful comments, and everybody, and anybody that's new. If you want to say where in this big wide world you're watching from, and introduce yourself, feel free. So the third thing that we need to know is there's the amplification of truth. Sagittarius is the straight shooter about honesty and truth. And you notice that Sagittarians, if they're not as evolved, even if they are, they can be a little bit crass, but they're honest, truthful, straightforward. And there's a very philosophical and a deep side to that. That's the last of the fire signs in the astrological wheel, basically. So anyway, this energy will turn the spotlight onto large-scale cover-ups, and we know they exist in the world. Corporate, government, medical corruption, all that stuff. It's going to get another spike of energy from the Sagittarius full moon. And the full moon, it illuminates the sun. It reflects the energy of the sun back to Earth. So it's this illumination, the spotlight on what's going on in the governments, the corporations, the wars, because Sagittarius can be a little bit aggressive. It's a fire sign also. It's not as warlike as Sagittarius, but it has that. And we start to see also some of the truths about what's going on with the world. And because there's a lot of fire energy, Jupiter is, I mean, the moon is at the very south of this possible orbit in our perspective, which is the place of fire. There's a lot of that fire energy. That could be a lot of release. So we could see more fires in the world, basically, literally more fires, as well as figuratively, basically. So what else do we have right up? And so, but I think one of the main things is a real spotlight on things that are covered up. And with these wars, as I say very often on my live streams, when the war, the Russia-Ukraine war began, although it might have really begun in 2014 or earlier, but about, was it 2022? God, I'm losing track of time. They were already commissioning Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, the defense contracting companies, for a long war. And how did they know it was going to be a long war? I'll just leave that to you guys, intelligent viewers on the Medium channel, to meet that one out. But Sagittarius, the time of truth, directness, can be big reveals in your own life also. So a lot gets exposed. A lot of the corruptions around you get exposed in your own personal life also. You may find people that are hiding truths that you start to see through it, or it starts to get exposed, or things that are going in your job, or things like that. It can also bring up legalities. Sagittarius can be a legal energy also, but Jupiterian side of legalities is usually a favorable outcome, by the way, when it comes to that. Part of your awakening and your ascension, basically. So that's with that. So the fourth thing that we need to know is, drum roll please, and Jody saying there seems to be a lot of that already. The full moon energy starts to arrive on the 11th day of the moon, which is about 5 days ago. So it's already here, basically. So anyway, number 4 is time for action. Basically, this is a very action energy. Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's a lot of energy and activity. We have other stuff in fire, like the 2 planets in Aries. We have the number 20 at play also. This is going to initiate new actions or double down on old actions. So in this energy, it's not a time to sit back quietly. Now, action, I have to say that we need to align our action with spirit, not with our emotions, right? Because we could be very upset with what's going on. You may have very strong political views and not like what's going on in the world, or abhor the wars and all the other craziness that's going on. And you might just feel like angry, upset, scared, like, I've got to do something. But understand, that's action born out of the lower vibrations, out of fear, guilt, anger, all that kind of stuff. So it's really like, if you're in those lower vibrations, and it's like, I've got to act, the actions you choose will probably align more with the lower vibration. So what do you do instead? You go into your heart, you open your heart in gratitude, you meditate, you stop your thoughts, and you allow yourself to expand. You connect with spirit and ask your higher self, spirit, source, God, the angels, whoever you work with, what kind of inspired action can I take, and see what comes. And then it's going to become from spirit. It'll be inspired. And then you're part of the solution. You're feeding the energy of the solution, not the energy of the problem, basically. So, I've said this a couple of other times in other videos and live streams. It's important to know the distinction. Remember, the word inspire, in spirit, inspired. And you might get enthusiastic when you feel inspired, when your choice of actions comes from the divine rather than the lower, because enthusiasm comes from entheos, Greek for in God. So there you have it. So let's see what else is here. Moon south elliptical. So that's a place of energy. So energy, action. So everything, the full moon's in an energy sign. It's in a place of energy way to the south of its possible orbits. All full moons are good for manifestation anyway, so work on manifesting things and take the appropriate action to manifest that, because of the 8, the 26/8 day that it's on. It's a good time to manifest more money, more security, more growth and expansion that way. New job, more with your business. So maybe do your candles or your prayers or however you manifest tonight, tomorrow night, and focus on more abundance, basically. Also said for abundance. Travel. It's a travel sign, so travel plans. Make your travel plans. Begin exercise and meditation. Time for action. So you've probably been thinking a lot, been contemplating what can you do. You probably have some ideas. So the universe is saying this is the time to take action, put your ideas into action, into form, basically. So begin to exercise and see more in distance. Energy broadens views. So this energy broadens views. It gives you a bird's eye view of your life and what your actions, how that will ripple out in the world, either positively or negatively. So it gives you broader views and broader ideas, and things may spring up that you never thought about before. So that's number 4. The 5th thing to know is spotlight on success. Well, we started to talk a little bit about that, right? So I'll dive a little bit more into that. Again, a great time for manifestation. Oh, I see a few more people who came on. So when we end, all that you missed, you can catch up with. So spotlight on success. Energy of Sag and a universal number 8 day, 26 and the reduced date, provides clear direction to success, basically. So it's a good time for manifestation anyway. All full moons are. So put that in direction. Sag is about directness. Take the most direct path now. Legalities tend to come up also in this energy. Blockages tend to be revealed. It's ideal for working on climbing the ladder, so to speak, or upgrading your business. And the communication, particularly over distances, are favored in this energy. And it's time to reach out to prospective helpful people as well. So this is all part of this energy, as well as make friends, connections with spiritually aligned people, work on community building and connecting. So that's another good and important aspect of this. And hard worker, this is your time, 111, basically. So very good. So those are 5 things to know. We're going to do some divination cards in a minute to see what else we can pick up from spirit. But let me see what's going on the medium channel. Well, tomorrow night at 7, we're going to do some frequency channeling with Archangel Michael, Archangel of Fire, and the Master Teacher to upgrade your frequencies to align more with the portal of the Sagittarius full moon. Very powerful work we do with that. I hope you can join us then. Thursday, we have Laura Bennett, who is a great psychic medium and channel. She's going to do an interview with us here on the channel. So those are a couple things that are coming up here on the medium channel, basically. And Spirit Fest 2025, the Escape the Matrix retreat is coming up August 1st to 3rd. That's going to be a powerful process of learning what the Matrix is, what it really is, and what we need to do to escape that and to connect more with our higher self and power. So it's going to be a very, very powerful weekend. We're half full now, so we still have some room, and there'll be information on the pinned comment for you. So recommended spiritual practices, do physical exercise. It's a very fiery physical energy. So if you've started to slack off a little bit with your workout routines, now that's the time to get back into it. Spiritual exercise is recommended, like yoga, qigong, tai chi, hiking, walking in the wood, but any exercise will be good. It's a good time for growth of muscles if you want to build your body a little bit, because Sagittarius full moon is about expansion and growth. So you're going to be working with the energetic tides for building muscles or building stamina or whatever it is in your workout. So take advantage of that. Sag is about information, communication. So this is a good time to find new spiritual teachers. It's a very spiritual energy. And to maybe seek out new spiritual YouTubers or new books, or finding new talks or lectures or new courses or retreats, either mine or somebody else's that you can go to also. Sag energy is also about expansion and growth. So this is an ideal time to investigate new spiritual practices or personal practices, new breathing techniques. Breath technique works very, very well under this. So do a lot of breath work. Breath of fire from Kundalini and other forms of yoga. That's even inhales and exhales through your nose. But on the inhale, you draw from the stomach, and on the exhale, you push from the diaphragm. So it's kind of that. And there's some postures that you can do. The long, deep breathing, any breath exercises, long, deep breathing to breathe in a lot of fresh chi and prana, and to exhale and to clear all the obstruction. There's a lot of energetic traps in our society. That's part of the matrix that we're going to learn how to break during the retreat. That it's done intentionally for our learning and growth. That for there to be a lower vibrational field that affects the collective consciousness. And anybody that's on the spiritual path knows that this lower field does try to mess with us, right? It does try to get us off of our game and to prevent us from ascending and from raising our vibration. So we'll learn how to identify that and how to break through that, and you'll be able to do that. But during the Sagittarius full moon, this is a good time to do that. So meditation practice, a lot of breath work is favored with that also. And as always, do your heart-brain coherence work. Hard breath, inhaling and exhale. You can feel your heart expanding on the inhale with your breath, contracting on the exhale. You can also reverse that polarity, by the way. So in other words, when you inhale, you can actually contract and draw the energy in, and on the exhale, you can breathe out and expand the energy that way. So you can experiment with different breaths because they have different purposes, and work with your energetic fields in different ways. But heart-brain coherence is just basically you learn how to bring your heart, the largest electromagnetic generator in the body, to a coherent state. And hearts are coherent when they feel love. So the hearts are magnetic. Emotions are magnetic in nature. So different emotions will magnetize different things, different types of people, and different events in your life. Then the brain is electrical. So the heart is stronger. And when you have an electrical field, how do you guide that electrical field? You guide it through magnetism. So the brain's the transmitter and receiver of the heart's information. So when you bring your heart into coherence and vibration of love, gratitude, compassion, you raise the frequency of the heart. Hearts cannot be programmed. The heart naturally blends with the brain. They become one again because they are. It's just our programming and social conditioning severs that tie. So they realign. And then when the heart and the brain become aligned, the brain begins to feed from the heart. And lo and behold, the brain becomes resistant to all the programming out there. There's programming evolving frequencies on our Wi-Fi's and cell signal, the subtleties of body language, the media, advertising, everything, social media, the algorithm is a programming tool. Everything is trying to program us into a certain way of thinking that's diminishing and empowering, and makes us subservient to the negative agendas of the deep state to further enslave humanity and control humanity. You do heart-brain coherence, you start to resist that programming, and you start to connect with the programming of your spirit and your soul and your higher self. Subconscious mind are programmed. That's the nature of the beast. But there are good programs also. But everything we run on programs, basically. That's how the mind works. Heart-brain coherence, it's a healing practice. It's anti-aging. It boosts the immune system. According to empirical studies, thanks to Dr. Joe Dispenza, Heart Math Institute, and others, it's an amazing practice. And I still feel like as more people awaken, this is going to be the viral spiritual practice of the 2020s into the 2030s. And you can learn it now on the Medium channel. We have a whole playlist on how to do the practice. Breath work also. And go into nature, get into the flows. Heart-brain coherence, what does it do? Also, it increases your electromagnetic field, right? We talked about that. The heart's electromagnetism is weak when it's in the... what's the right word? With the incoherent frequencies of fear, anger, guilt, shame, all that stuff. Hearts feel love. Hearts are here to love. When there's other emotions at play, it diminishes the heart. It gets the heart out of coherence, basically. But if you bring your heart into coherence, it's the largest electromagnetic generator in the body. Guess what? It strengthens your auric fields, and we are living in a very toxic electromagnetic soup here on planet Earth. 5G signals, Wi-Fi signals, WEN signals, all kinds of things. But if your electromagnetic frequencies are strong, it resists the damage of those negative EMF waves. And also, shungite can do that also. And another thing that can do that is getting out into nature. Just getting out into nature for about 5 minutes will counteract about an hour, if not more, of being in this negative radiation pattern of the electromagnetic frequencies that we live in, basically. So go into nature, hug a tree, relax your mind, feel the energy, feel nature, allow the flows, because everything, there's always a flow going through you that wants to heal you, wants to restore you back to balance. You can get out into nature, stop your thoughts, open your heart, and you can allow that flow to work through your body, through your energetic field, to restore you to balance and to clear any harmful effects of EMF. It's the world that we live in. We just need tools to deal with it, right? So these are things to work on and to practice, basically. I'm just peeking at your comments a little bit. And yeah, we've been running about 50, 55 on this. So let's finish up by doing some divination cards. Hug a tree. Thank you. Yes, you will feel more grounded. Hug a tree. Grounding. Thank you, Laura. This is Let's Spirit Guide. She's going to be on the Medium channel talking to me on Thursday evening. Grounding, not in my notes. Thanks for bringing that up. Grounding so important. When we're deeply grounded, these energetic storms will not break us. We will not fall. Just like these white pine trees with the shallow roots blow down in the storm, the oaks withstand the storms because their roots are deep. So do a lot of grounding. Nature would be really good to do that. Pray for LA. We'll you know what? Tomorrow night, we're doing the transmission from the master teachers. Part of that, we're going to do a little bit of prayer work, because we know prayer is powerful. We know through collective consciousness, we can ease the tensions and reduce the violence. We did that during the Black Lives Matter, during those protests. That was on Facebook. I only have 40 people. And the next day, the violence went down about 60%. Now, we can't take all the credit because other people were doing the same thing. But the point being is that it does work. So thanks for reminding me. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it may, like the media likes to divert our attention and focus on certain aspects. And it's not always lies, it's technology. It's how things are worded and presented to give a certain impression of what the truth is, but the truth is different. It's sort of hidden in the delivery, basically. So, and a lot of it's going to spark debates and anger. Like is the action by the White House necessary or not? Can and should the LAPD handle this and whatever? So the images that we see may and AI is very hard to distinguish from reality. So the idea is to open our hearts to pray that nobody gets hurt. From what I understand, there's some damage and some fires, but so far it's from what my understanding, it hasn't been widespread yet. So we will do that. Yes. We'll do that tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here on the Medium channel. So I have the what deck do I have here? The Sacred Geometry Oracle deck. Stay sovereign. Thank you, Millie. Yes. So Jared, tonight at 9:30 Eastern time, that's when the fire home is. This would be this channel here. Talk about peace. This is a great ceremony if you've never experienced that. Highly recommended. You guys got that, right? I'll flash that again. The roots run deep. So they are. They run deep in multi-dimensions, not just the 3D, not just the 4D or the 5D. And we can root into spirit, right? Because the branches of a tree resemble very much the roots. The roots root into the ground. The branches root into divine spirit or divine consciousness. Hug trees. Be the energy of the trees. Yes. They're very important. So back to pulling our sacred geometry card for this full moon. And the energy is going to go into the next new moon, which is in 2 weeks. We got alchemy. Wow. Key 8. And it's these are all fire colors, by the way. Not too surprising. yeah, let's turn that energetic lead into gold. Let's make all these problems in the world have a solution and have a purpose and divine consciousness that people will heal and upgrade and ascend, and that there'll be a minimal of suffering in the process. And what this says is the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemists to perform the miracles of transmutation. We notice there's kind of like 3 spheres in here. 2 of them are hexagonal, flower of life motif. One of it looks like a crown lotus, a crown chakra lotus, or at least it looks that way in this image. And it's very fiery energy, basically. So what do we want to do? Yeah, we want to be the alchemist and transform the lead in our lives into gold. Understand that lead is a base element that can be transformed through consciousness, and through channeling with the master teachers, through our meditation, through all that we do, we become the alchemists of our own lives and our own reality. So what it's saying is this full moon is going to increase those abilities for that. So, just something to work on and to keep in mind also. I feel Millie expanding also. And the fire is hot. Oh, goody, goody. I'll be there doing my yoga, but I'll be with you also. Last time, and I swear I'm not making this up. And I watched this on the replay, and I was actually meditating. I finished my yoga and I was meditating. I was like, I smell the fire. I smell the fire. And I told Jared, I'm with you because I smell the fire, even though I'm 2,000 miles away here in New York and you're somewhere in Colorado, I think. I was there, and that's how it works. Once we energetically connect, distance is an illusion. It's of the 3D, but in the higher dimensions, we're all connected, we're all linked, and we can join. We can create these the threads of quantum entanglement to connect with all beings, all life, all of nature, all realities, and all beings, basically. And the sweet incense, yeah. So let's move on to another one. Well, I have the Moonology cards. Of course, it's a full moon, so let's see what the Moonology card is. I didn't smell sweet incense, but I did catch the smell of cedar in my mind. It might have been sage, but it smelled like cedar and campfire. So anyway, cedar is very good for invoking positive nature spirits, by the way, and sage, when you smudge with sage, it actually creates a similar effect to a waterfall. It changes the ionization of the air, and it clears like any negative elementals and energies like astral parasites and stuff like that. It can raise the vibration to encourage any darker spirits to leave, but there's other things for clearing negative entities. It just kind of clears the vibrational field to get ready to do your spiritual work or whatever. So the Moonology, this card, and this card is Gibbous Moon. Well, we're past the Gibbous Moon now. We're coming out of the Gibbous Moon into the full moon. Well, the full moon's a few hours from now, like 6 hours away. So we are in the full moon right now. But the energy of the Gibbous Moon is you're very close to achieving your goals. So that's a good message. And with the Sagittarian full moon, based on a few things that I said, this is a really good time to bring these goals into fruition now through inspired action, not nervous action, not like I want to manifest money. Now, there's 2 kinds of action you can take. You can be more lack-based with that. It's like, I need money. I have no money. I need to take action right now. Or I can be in a high vibration where I know that the abundance exists. I know it's coming to me because it's all around me. This is an abundant universe and I'm an abundant being. And I feel that and I feel grateful. And then the action will be inspired in spirit. It'll be inspired and it'll come through you. That'll be the right action coming from the place of abundance, not the place of lack. So there's a very fine line when people do law of attraction that you have to get the lack mentality out of the equation. You have to feel like your desire is already real in the present moment visualize it with your mind, with all your senses. That's the brain. Feel grateful in your heart. You have gratitude. That's the heart. And be present in the quantum field of the realm of spirit. That's how you manifest it. So anyway, moving right along. 444. Yeah, it's right when I look, it was 44:44. That's how long this live stream has been. So of course, the Starseed Oracle. Laura did a Starseed Oracle pick on her reading at 7 from Let Spirit Guide channel, which was beautiful messages. Sweetgrass, I love sweetgrass. I burn sweetgrass also, so I can post a couple of your comments. Hello, Betty from Ohio. Welcome. I always think of Chrissy Hines, because she's from Ohio, and that song, All the Way to Ohio from the Pretenders. Yeah. Mugwort by the bed is good. Wormwood is good. It's a great parasite detoxifier. This is a good time for parasite cleanses, since I'm on that also, especially when the moon's waning again. And if you're not warm on things like ivermectin and what's the other one? Femmedesinol, whatever that is. If that's not your thing, get a compound that has wormwood, great parasite detoxer, black walnut, and if you find one that has food grade diatomaceous earth, that's a great one too, because that physically, not chemically, removes toxins from the body, basically, because the diatomaceous earth, the structure of it is very jagged. It actually kind of tears the parasites apart in your body. Don't be surprised you have some die off, and we know parasites can lead to all kinds of inflammatory conditions, including cancer in some cases. So we know that that's fembendazole. Yes, English really is my first language. All right. Anyway, thank you for that, Lindsay. All right. So this is the Starseed Oracle deck. They pulled me right to this card here, and this card here is the Golden Children. Wow, I love this. The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gift. So Spirit's reminding us in this Sagittarian full moon to honor our inner child and to feed our inner child. To childlike wonder. Our inner child is our connection to Spirit, because the little children have not lost their connection. They haven't been socialized. They haven't been through the rigors of social conditioning yet to lose that connection. So when we allow our childlike nature to be expanded and part of our energetic field and makeup, we are actually inviting our spirit in, because our spirit is our childlikeness, if that makes sense. Different than being childish, by the way, way different. And you can maybe able to get some messages. That's from the imagery on the card. Beautiful card, yes. The Golden Children of the Starseed Oracle by Denise Lynn. I can't remember her name. Denise Lynn, and Rebecca Campbell does the artwork for this. Beautiful energy. Oh, let's pull a quick angel card. Oh, nope. They tell me to pull this card also. This card is the Cosmic Heart. So this is reiterating what we're saying. When we bring our physical hearts, or our heart chakras, I should say, into vibrational coherence, we vibrate with the Cosmic Heart also. There's one heart. My heart and your heart, they're the same. There's only one heart. There's just different manifestations of that one heart, right? And the message here is devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. What a beautiful advice. Especially when I get frustrated, I need to remember that my life is not about being frustrated or feeling, a lack of movement. My heart is the movement. My heart is the grace. My heart is the action. Basically, make your heart a moving prayer. So make your heart the action on the Sagittarius full moon, excuse me. Make the heart your action. And that's what we have for you. And the colors are pink like the strawberry moon. Thank you, Felicia, for that. So Rebecca Campbell is the author. Thank you. Let me correct that error. Rebecca Campbell is the author, and then Denise Lynn is the artist, right? So I got that in reverse. Spiders are the life weaver to the Native Americans. That's beautiful medicine. That's asking you, Lindy, how are you weaving your life now? What threads are you putting into the great web of life to manifest your reality? How are you connecting with the great field of energy of life? I love the spiders and they love me. I always have multiple webs all around my front door, and they're doing it now. And they like to build webs on my side view mirrors of my cars. I feel so guilty about trying it, but you know what? But the next morning they rebuilt the webs already. And I remember when I was in my last house, when I had the wood stove, one night or one morning I woke up, there's this ginormous wolf spider right on that. And I was like, oh, it's a tarantula. But, oh, it's the life weaver. It's the life weaver. It's not the tarantula. It's the life weaver. It's a wolf spider. So I carefully trapped it and put it outside, basically. So anyway, so it's a good sign. It's a good omen, in other words. That never heard of. Oh, you heard about it here? Oh, cool. We like to be forerunners around here, right? Yeah. I have lots of videos on it. I have a whole playlist on how to do HeartBrain Coherence. I highly recommend that. So again, tomorrow, channeling with Archangel Michael and the Master Teachers. We'll do some frequency work to align with this Sagittarius full moon portal to take full advantage of it, to grow, expand, and to grow your energetic fields for bigger and better things for your next phase of life and energy. Thursdays, Laura of Let Spirit Guide channel, her interview. Then I guess Sunday will be tarot time. Next week on the 19th, we're going to do mediumship on the Medium channel. So that's coming soon also. All right, I know that there's more, and it'll be on the pinned comment. Anything else? Oh, you know what? Let me this is going to take a while to get to the top of this comment stream. But if anybody wants to get my personal information, if you want to book a reading or join in, we're going to do a mediumship night on Zoom this coming Tuesday, the maximum of 10, so that everybody gets a message. You'll email us there. I don't think it's up on the website yet. Also, if you want more information about the retreat, the Escape the Matrix retreat, or any of our services or anything going on, that's our email. That's our contact info. All right. So we are ending now. And I get it. You were saying this is the first time I ever mentioned HeartBrain. No, Chris is absolutely right. I mention this every freaking live and on half of my uploads also, because it's such an important and a valuable practice that we should all be taking advantage of. There's many ways to bring the heart into coherence, doing breath work, doing some yogic stuff, chanting, singing, service, what's the word? Not karma, dharma, like good dharma in the world. There's so many ways to bring your heart into more coherence, but HeartBrain Coherence is a very succinct practice utilizing old yoga techniques and other techniques aligned with modern scientific discoveries to make it a really, really very powerful, focused, and succinct way of bringing the heart and the brain back into coherence, which brings you into coherence with spirit. And 66 years old, I'm in the best health of my life, hands down. I mean, yeah, there's a few little old age things that creep up from time to time, and I continue to on that path basically. So, and between yoga and other practices and HeartBrain Coherence, what I put into my body, what I feed my brain, all that stuff plays into it. So do it. That's my advice, and I'm going to end. Lindsay, your dad is 66. So he was born in 58 also, or the beginning of 59. I was born in later 58. Oh, no. That means I would be turning 57. So it doesn't matter. We are ending now. I love you. Thanks for being here. And Fire Homa on Huda on Jared's channel, 9:30 tonight. I'll see some of you there. Love you.